obviously we're here where it's all said with love. You're trying to be supportive as you can, but sometimes it just lands wrong, and it's not your fault, but you're just making it harder in some type of way. Welcome to the Parent Playbook. There are going to be 3 parts to this video. First of all is going to be talking around that car journey home. So what to say to your swimmer if they've had a bad race day, for example. Then we're going to touch upon race day. So what to do leading up to race day, heats and finals, nutrition, recovery, all that good stuff. And then the final part is going to be about the plateau. So if your swimmer has hit a plateau, for example, what to say, how to manage that, and basically how to make sure that they don't burn out, make sure that they don't quit, and we want to keep them in the sport for as long as possible. So on this first part, we're going to talk about the car journey home in module 1. So this is all based on my own experience in terms of being a younger swimmer when I was going through my junior years. So when I started swimming at 4 years old to started competing at 8 years old, and then all the way through that junior period between 10 to 17, for example. So what I found, and a lot of the children, the parents I work with inside the academy, if you want to work more directly with myself and my team at the JMS Academy, then click the link in the description to join up. But the kids I teach in the academy all say the same thing. The parents all say the same thing. So this is exactly why I've put this together. So 3 phrases that feel helpful but kind of land wrong because it's in the wrong time. Your child probably just came off a bad swim, and the emotions are quite high, basically. So these are some of the phrases that a lot of parents have said, and they just haven't worked. So I'm just taking this from what other parents have said, and maybe it can relate to you. Things like, you should have gone faster in that last length. They already know that, and so telling them again kind of just increases their view of being a failure or not doing well. Never mind, you'll do better next time. Like, why this lands wrong is because it kind of dismisses what they're feeling right now, and you're kind of already going to the next thing, and they haven't really digested exactly what just happened after the race. You look tired. Did you sleep okay? Something like this just introduces doubt about their preparation. Did they do enough? Did they actually sleep or did they not? Like, almost like making these excuses before their next race, or why this certain race went bad. Obviously we're here where it's all said with love. You're trying to be supportive as you can, but sometimes it just lands wrong, and it's not your fault, but you're just making it harder in some type of way. So these are kind of the frameworks for post-race, is what I have found has worked for myself, a lot of the kids I work with, and a lot of the parents have kind of actually gave me some of this feedback. So this is why I put it into this playbook for parents like yourself who are interested. So the 3 steps post-race framework. Step 1, acknowledging the feeling. They might be quite disappointed. They might not be too disappointed in terms of not showing their emotions, but deep down they might be. So you could, say something like that, like really tough, like, how are you feeling? Not the time, not the race, not the feeling, just kind of a simple question that will have probably a very quick answer, like yeah, I'm okay, or I'm not so good, that type of thing. But actually just you kind of initiating that conversation will just help them know that you've acknowledged that it was a pretty tough race, but you're not saying about next time, or you should have done this, should have done that. Step 2, ask one question, then stop talking. So it's kind of like that. What I was saying is you've initiated the feeling straight away, but you're not having to then drag it on. Is there anything you want to talk about? If they say no, then it's totally fine. Like, you've initiated the door to be open. They know that, but it might just take them a little bit longer in the car journey back, for example, until you get home, until they might start talking more about it. Step 3, follow their lead. If they want something, if they want a McDonald's after their race, you go do that. That's what I always find was really helpful, is like, we've had a really bad race, so we want to just be able to just roam free in terms of like, we want to be in control as the athlete. Again, a lot of reflection is really good when it comes to this stuff. That doesn't mean right after reflection. So kind of what we were talking about here is like the next time bit, like that stuff can be done the next day, that evening, later in the evening, or the following week, where you're actually then talking about the race, you know, doing that race process sheet that I get a lot of my guys to do is those 3 objectives, that race strategy, you know, what can we take from those race strategy points and how can we get better and use that as ammo for training. So that type of stuff just comes later in the day or later in the week. But for right after the race, if there's a disappointing race, like this is the kind of stuff that is a little bit better for the athlete. You know, your first job is not to fix it, it's just to make them feel understood. So that was a quick overview on kind of what to say, what not to say on the car journey home. Again, we've got 600 members inside the JMS Academy. We do weekly calls talking about all this. We've got the Parents Corner that involves this playbook and just more actionable steps. Feel free to click the link in the description and sign up. But that is it for this part of the video. Now we'll move on to the second part, which is going to talk about race day and how to actually handle race day, because we've talked about post race day.